crusader against corruption of the castes. Taking on corruption in Indian politics is a dangerous task. Death threats and physical assaults are part of the life of anti-corruption crusaders. Some live to tell the tale and others are killed in the fight for the people. The fight only becomes enormously more difficult if the one exposing corruption is a Dalit, and the corrupt belongs to a dominant caste. It gets worse if the fight is set in the feudal rural confines of the country. Despite all this, 47-year-old Dharmraj Dange was known amongst his people as the upright, honest lawyer who would fight for the rights of the people and against corruption in his Ramapur village in the remote rural Amravati district of Maharashtra. Dharmraj's integrity is impeccable and he never bowed down to the caste compulsions. This is why the people of his village elected him unopposed as the deputy sarpanch for the village. They knew that he would ensure a good administration and development for all. Ramapur is desperate for development. There is only one primary school in the village and that ends with the class 4. Students who wish to pursue studies need to travel to other villages and often girl children just drop out. The dominant Maratha castes corner most of the resources and caste divisions are palpable. Dalits stay in semi-constructed houses. Marathas live in palatial homes and dominate administrative positions and politics of the area. But having studied law to serve the people, Dharmraj dedicated his life to change the social realities of his village. It is his social work for nearly 3 decades that made the villagers choose him to be deputy sarpanch and emerge as an honest counterpart to the Maratha caste sarpanch Ingle. The village population is dominated by the Maratha castes. So once they elected a sarpanch, the rest of the village, including the Dalits, unanimously decided that Dharmraj should be the deputy sarpanch. They relied on Dharmraj's strong shoulders to bear the burden of administering equality and ensuring Ingle did not abuse resources. Since the start of his tenure, Dharmraj has brought about many changes. Being a lawyer, he did not allow sarpanch to siphon off village funds for his personal work. All this had frustrated Ingle, who took the position only to reap financial rewards. Dharmraj and others in the panchayat were also frustrated with Ingle as he stonewalled all the development works and refused to listen to the advice of the deputy sarpanch and others. Dharmraj also found several irregularities in the village finances and decided it was time to take on sarpanch publicly. 6 members of the panchayat led by Dharmraj proposed a vote of no confidence against Ingle. And the vote was due on 13th of May 2020. Though the lockdown was in place, rural politics and administration of the village had to go on. On the eve of the vote, Ingle realized that the honest deputy sarpanch was all set for a victory and decided to turn to brazen physical intimidation in a bid to staying in power. He went to Dharmraj's house on 12th of May and told the lawyer that he wanted to have a conversation. Dharmraj was not aware that the sarpanch would dare to physically assault him and thought Ingle was genuine about wanting to discuss some of the issues. Trustingly, Dharmraj boarded Ingle's car. However, when they reached the nearby Chikaldar post in the Achalpur area, Ingle was joined by his henchman Pritesh and gang of Maratha castes. They started physically assaulting Dharmraj and threatened him to death if he did not withdraw the no confidence motion. Dharmraj was strong and tried to fight back and escape, but the Maratha sarpanch and his gang overpowered him and beat him with sticks and punches as they drove the car to another place. They kept driving around and beating the lawyer all night and ensured that he could not attend the no confidence vote in time on the morning of the 13th. Once they knew there was no way Dharmraj could reach the village in time for the vote, they made him forcibly sign a stamp paper and write that he did not attend the panchayat and no confidence vote voluntarily. A bleeding Dharmraj was in a critical state, but the accused did not even bother taking him to a hospital. Instead, they dumped the lawyer outside his house and threatened to kill his entire family if he complained. The no confidence vote was lost. The Sarpanch held on to his position and Dharmraj was not present at the meeting. But the brave heart Dharmraj has not retreated. Though he is the sole breadwinner and lives with his wife, 2 children, and an aging father, family vulnerabilities never stood in his way for the lawyer and his activities. Like him, his family was shocked that a lawyer and a deputy sarpanch could face this kind of a brazen assault, but they refused to be caught down. Once he recovered from the assault physically, Dharmraj began the task of seeking justice for himself and all those in the village. He had the full support of the legal fraternity and his family. In fact, the Amravati district court had shut down for a day in protest against the assault on the lawyer, and such support bolstered Dharmraj's confidence. Initially, the police were reluctant to file a complaint, but given the fact that Dharmraj is a lawyer and had the support of the fellow lawyers and Dalit right defenders, they were forced to register an FIR invoking stringent sections of SC/ST Prevention of Atrocities Act. The prime accused, Ingle, along with his henchmen, were arrested and spent almost a month in jail before being released on bail. A corrupt sarpanch could brazenly attack his honest deputy primarily because of caste. He may not have dared to do this had both been from the same caste, and the retribution from the village would have been much stronger, feels Dharmraj. These are the realities that every activist, human rights defender from the Dalit community have to face. But like Dharmraj, they march on against the caste, striking their lives, risking their lives. In Dharmraj's case, he is leading the campaign himself, and Manuski is only providing support if needed. Two important issues that needs to be addressed immediately are: first, the police need to submit their investigation report at the earliest, and second, the victim needs to be given compensation as per the law.